Support for the Leadoff on WGLT and WGLT.org comes from the Central Illinois Regional Airport, where travelers are one stop away from world destinations. Connections on American Airlines to Chicago or to Dallas-Fort Worth are available daily. Close, convenient, CIRA. More at CIRA.com.
After years of planning and construction, Bloomington cuts the ribbon on its newly expanded library. That's one of the things you need to know to start your day for Friday, August 2nd. I'm Ryan Denham, and this is WGLT's The Leadoff. Now let's lead off with a new chapter for the Bloomington Public Library. WGLT student reporter Colleen Holden was there for celebration of the library's $25 million expansion and renovation.
One more round of applause for all that made this happen.
The McLean County Chamber of Commerce hosted the ribbon cutting for the library expansion. Library Director Jeannie Hamilton lists the library's added features, including expanded parking.
3 community meeting spaces, 2 large children's programming rooms, 9 group study rooms, a computer lab, an innovation lab, 2 recording studios, an interactive kids discovery zone, a calming room, a nursing nook, wider aisles, and more accessible shelving.
The library's expansion took 2 years to build. Planning goes back 2 decades as the library explored several options and sought the city's financial support. That eventually came as the city approved borrowing to pay a bulk of the project. State funding also helped, along with library reserves and a fundraising campaign. Hamilton says the library delayed a few minor features to keep the project within budget.
We were really able to include all of the spaces. There were some cuts along the way, but we tried to focus on cutting things that could be added later.
Hamilton says the expansion has helped the library grow its attendance past pre-COVID levels for the first time. For The Leadoff, I'm Colleen Holden.
Here's some other stories we're following in the WGLT newsroom. There's a new way for McLean County residents to get the widely used overdose reversal drug Narcan. At Chestnut Health System's Treatment Center in West Bloomington, there's now a vending machine distributing it for free. 3 groups are teaming up to host a public forum on housing issues at 2 o'clock Sunday, August 25th at Bloomington Public Library. The groups will share what they're doing to build alternative solutions to the housing crunch. And newly released 911 calls show that the mother of Sonia Massey called police for help with her daughter less than 24 hours before Sonia was killed by a sheriff's deputy in Springfield. You can find more on these stories at WGLT.org. The head of the Missouri Valley Football Conference, where the ISU Redbirds play, has had one commissioner in its history. That will change after this season. Patty Viverito will retire after her 40th season at the helm of the premier mid-major football conference. That conference has dominated its level of college football, winning 17 national championships and 11 in the last 13 years. Viverito tells WGLT's Eric Stock that she credits university administrators for keeping the Valley strong.
Decades ago, we were kind of in a quandary about where we fit into the Division I football landscape. And we had schools that were sort of coveting FBS. We had others that were looking for a lower cost model. And we had a strategic planning session and with our presidents and said, what is it that we want to do in this space? And they really agreed that the most important thing was for us to establish a strong FCS conference within the Midwest and to really own this space geographically and commit to each other. And that's what we've done. And we've done that consistently. Our mission statement is to be nationally competitive at whatever level the NCAA sponsors championship football. And we kind of said, we didn't care what they called it. We didn't care what the number of scholarships was, that we were going to stick together and be nationally competitive. And I would say that we've lived that mission and vision quite nicely for the last, certainly the last 30 years, but really since its inception.
There is one defector after this year, and maybe this came as a surprise. It certainly appeared to in these parts. Missouri State, the largest athletics budget in the Missouri Valley, leaving for Conference USA. Western Illinois is leaving the Valley for a conference that would enable them to be more competitive. Does the league have a plan for those departures as it now drops down to 10 teams after this year?
I'd say there's no urgency to expand. We were at 10 for quite a while, 10 members, and it worked. The reason we expanded beyond 10 was really to accommodate the needs of our multi-sport leagues. And that was to bring in, North Dakota and Murray State. And it made sense. It was what our multi-sport conferences needed. And we were certainly happy to expand with those institutions, but there's nothing magical about the number 12. And in fact, it puts you in a position where you're playing not everybody every year. 10 gets us closer to that again.
As we continue with Patty Viverito, the commissioner of the Missouri Valley Football Conference, retiring after this coming year, college athletics, as you've alluded to, has undergone a lot of change, even just over the last couple of years. One of the major changes has been the addition of name, image, and likeness rules for student athletes to get endorsement deals. What do you make of that, and how has that played out among Missouri Valley Football Conference schools?
Again, I think what we're doing at our level is much saner and more sustainable. That's what is happening at the highest level of college sports right now. It's not a model that I covet what they're doing. I really appreciate and have always been inspired by the educational model, the student athlete model. I do agree that offering financial assistance to those student athletes for all they do is important. I think a commitment to Title IX has to be part of that equation. And I think that, again, I think it's hard to imagine not being part of a landscape that is embedded in higher ed for our college sports programs. That being said, the challenges of name, image, and likeness, the transfer portal, all of the money that we need to invest in a holistic model for our student athletes, all those are matters that we just need to manage.
That was Missouri Valley Football Conference Commissioner Patty Viverito speaking with WGLT's Eric Stock. You can read or listen to the rest of their conversation at WGLT.org. And Illinois State, by the way, opens its football season at the University of Iowa on August 31st. Before we let you go, ISU's Board of Trustees meets this morning at 8 at the Bone Student Center. On the agenda there is an update to the ISU Constitution related to governance and the Academic Senate. That's it for today. I'm Ryan Denham. The show is produced by Rosalie Truback. You can subscribe to The Leadoff on the NPR app or wherever you get your podcasts.